gentlemen, the following presentation is brought to you by Mr. Main Event Brian Waters and the real Dwayne Allen. The Wrestling Realm, the show for the intelligent wrestling fans. Off the top rope, I dwell in the wrestling realm. Like Jake stay in the snake pit and Kane be in hell. Like Taker stay in the graveyard and Punk in the shy. Call me Snooker cause I'm super and fly. You can hate all you want, but I'm flossing. The Miz said I'm awesome, and I'm upholding the law just like the big boss man. With Mr. Main Event Brian Waters, the real Dwayne Allen, toss you over the border like Hernandez, Mandez, pressing the stands. It's the show for the intelligent wrestling fans. Hitman like Hawk, but I'm not from Calgary. I'm all about the bill, so let that gold dust shower me, empower me like Farouk and the nation. If you don't know your history, then you should change the station. But if you do, you can cruise to YouTube / the wrestling realm. Your lessons are stale. Say the same old lines, man, you destined to fail. Like the Shockmaster or the wrestler Nails. I'm a heartbreak kid, and my bid to be champion is unmatched. Anybody step, I'm face planting them. With Mr. Main Event and the real Dwayne, you the sisters of love, we the powers of pain. You see we coming with a spear while you're monkey flipping. It's Brian Waters, Dwayne Allen, and your boy Trenton. And that's just how the story goes. That's just how the story goes. It's the wrestling realm, baby. The wrestling realm. Mr. Main Event Brian Waters, the real Dwayne Allen. And I'm your boy Trent CMG. You know what it is, baby. Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrestling Realm. I am your host, Mr. Main Event Brian Waters, and on a special segment of the Wrestling Realm called Mr. Main Event Starts, I'm sitting here with my Indy correspondent, Brandon. Now, Brandon, you see we got all this gold right here.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's actually like a history of championships if you think about it, because we have the original WWF Championship, then the Attitude Era, then the Undisputed. Then you can actually say the first Intercontinental to the new Intercontinental, back to the new Intercontinental again. So it just depends on how you want to look at it in perspective. And of course, the ever so always never changing World Championship. Mm-hmm. And my personal favorite, because it sticks out the most, the ECW Championship. Yes, I was a fan of this version, not the other version. I was a fan of the new version.
For real?
Yes, I was much a fan of that because look how it stands out more.
Yeah.
So. And we all know ECW may have been the basis for some wrestlers, but continue.
ECW, coming soon to the Wrestling Realm, where we will be joined by the podcast of Pain, Charlie Speed and Leroy. Brandon, I wanted to talk to you. You know, you being a belt guy, you was the first person I know personally who had belts. You know, inspired me to get belts. What do you think about the state of the championships today?
I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there, this is my personal opinion, I love the direction that the WWE is going with some titles, but I don't understand some of the other titles. For instance, I love the fact that even if you would have told me, and I posted it on the Wrestling Realm, if you would have told me 5 years ago that Bryan Danielson and Chick Magnet Punk would be wrestling for the WWE Championship, I would have said you're crazy. That dude with that two-tone color hair and those boxer shorts, and this dude with the bald head and the blonde beard would not be in the WWE, I would have told you you're nuts because, one, they were smaller guys, and two, they were indie guys, and they were making names for themselves in other wrestling organizations. So, yes, I love the way the WWE Championship is going.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Now, as far as the world title, I personally think that they're kind of trying to repackage and revamp people that they pushed into the WWE Championship and didn't do anything with them, because if you think about it, both of these contenders, Sheamus had 2 title runs in a short amount of time, and so did Alberto, but they were like, okay, they were champions. Right. They really didn't do anything. So now I feel like maybe Vince or whoever the powers to be are saying, let's give them another opportunity as world champion and let them really show, because separately, they can do it. Sheamus can work, but Sheamus has been, went from a bully to be a star all of a sudden overnight, and to won the fight Randy Orton, but you can't pick a fight with Randy Orton and then put him with Del Rio, who had proven himself, but only proved himself with other wrestlers.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion.
So do you think maybe perhaps that Sheamus is being to this be a star guy because maybe John Cena is about to become a heel?
Okay, one thing I will have to say, John Cena is never going to be a heel because nobody wants to lose that WWE money. And if you think about it, all he got to do is drop a different color. He can make a hot pink t-shirt tomorrow, and the arena will be hot pink. Just like that day after he dropped that green shirt while you were in WrestleMania,
Yeah.
what happened? The next night on Raw, everybody had a green shirt.
Well, I would go as far as to say, when I was in the parking lot, you know, shouts out to Mike Knox and the firm, Dr. D, Nephew Corey, and G-Lo. We were sitting there, and I saw all these green shirts. At first, I thought it was the Hustle Loyalty, no, the Cena Nation shirt.
The original one when he was
The
green
red
first.
one. But I thought they switched the color, because if you look at it, the way it's designed, it's kind of designed the same way. So I thought it was the same thing, and I was like, wait a minute. No, let's say Rise Above Hate. And then sure enough, when he came out there, he had on that green shirt. You know, I'm not a fan, but hey, it brought luck to the Boston Celtics, who are playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. So we all know Cena's from Boston, so
It worked.
maybe so. But, you know, I said that, looking at Sheamus, I was thinking, you know, maybe, because if you look, he's in all the commercials. He's on a lot of posters, and I was thinking, is it maybe he's going to be that next guy?
If he was going to be, he would have been.
Okay.
Think about it. The next guy doesn't hold the world title. The next guy holds the WWE Championship. He had 2 title runs that went nowhere. If you really think about it, in the fashion that he won them were not even memorable. And even so, look how he won the world title. That was his stamp on his career, if you really think about it.
Okay.
You know, look what he did at WrestleMania. Okay, yeah. His run to WrestleMania will be remembered only because he fought his way up there. Yeah. But if you think about it, look what he did. That's his WrestleMania moment. Just like Kane had a WrestleMania moment with the ECW title a few years back. And that was his moment, and that was how he won that title. So, you know, to put your top guy as the world champion, I personally just don't see it happening. They probably have other plans for him to help the other guys and actually build up the brand of SmackDown again, because you notice they went back to having the younger stars on SmackDown and showcasing them. And maybe you need a Del Rio with that star power that can captivate a crowd to boo him and get him over as a heel. And you need that, oh, here's that old great white hype Sheamus to shut Alberto up. So they're going to work well together in just those 2 dynamics. I just don't see them being the face of the WWE. Do I see them on the side of the next Slurpee Cups? Yeah, but that's as far as they're going to go.
Oh, you know, time will tell. What about a guy like Santino, the United States champion? Where do you see the state of that belt going? Now, when Cody became the IC champion, he brought that prestige. We wanted to see Big Zeke become champion because he worked so hard, he got away from the core. But then it was just like, okay, he got it now. But when Cody became champion, and then he went back to, like I said, which is one of my favorite belts, this one right there, you know, it was like, yeah, he brought prestige, he made it seem, that title seemed so important. Dolph Ziggler made the United States Championship seem so important, but then afterwards it was like, okay, how important is it? So the reason why I said, now what about, you know, Zack Ryder? Everybody wanted to see him get the title, then after he got the title, it was like, shows what happens a lot of times we give the fans what they want too soon. So what do you think about a guy like Santino?
Well, see, now I'm going to attack Santino, United States Championship, and the Intercontinental title. Because when you think about wrestling organization, you always have a second-tier title. And usually, or what should work, is that your second-tier title should be just as important as your main title, as in your world champion. And even to the point that that sometimes can overshadow it because of the hungry guys going after it and trying to make a name for themselves. Maybe they are mid-card, maybe they are the main event one time on SmackDown or Raw, or maybe they are the feature of the starting of the show. Okay. So when you have Santino, who has had, I think, 2 successful Intercontinental title reigns, he was the Milan Miracle. He had the belt, but he really didn't have a contender, and that's where a lot of these second-tier belts start to fall and lose their relevancy and lose their push, because who is their number 1 contender right now? Right. Who is Santino's heel that's you want to see Santino overcome? What mountain can Santino climb? He's the United States champion. The fashion he wanted was like, wow, he took it from Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, who was just holding the belt for him to take it, basically, because it was like, okay, Zack Ryder clearly wasn't going to get it back, so let's give it to Comic Relief, guy that wins over the fans, that went toe-to-toe in the last part of the Elimination Chamber, made you think he might actually win the title. but we're going to give him the U.S. title as a consolation prize.
Okay.
You know, and the thing is, he doesn't. If he has a heel, great. If he has somebody that it doesn't even have to be a heel. Maybe if it's somebody else that comes out of the woodworks to say, "I'm challenging for this belt," regardless of who it is, it'll help push it. But right now, there's just no. I don't care if the Well, I'm sorry. I don't care if the United States title is defended because it's just like it's so much random thrown into it. Like we know that'll probably be another pre-show match before the next pay-per-view.
So, what do you think about Christian becoming the Intercontinental Champion?
All I had to say is Christian Cage is destined for greatness. I'll mark my word. 5 years from now, you can go back and play this tape. Christian will be a person that you remember. Regardless of what he's done in the past or what he's doing, Christian is forever changing. He wears the same ring gear, yes, but Christian will perform in the ring whether he's that heel that you're just like, get over it, or whether he's that face that you're like, I want to see the peeps.
Right.
You know, Christian can do it, and that's why I said WWE realized he's come back from a serious injury, well, a couple of injuries, and we gave him this belt. If you think about the Intercontinental belt, it's usually either been for those guys that's going to be world champion, or those guys that came back that said, okay, we want to put you on this to make you relevant again and push you back towards the top. Right. I.e. Jeff Hardy came back every time after suspension and got the Intercontinental belt.
True.
Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, and the list goes on and on. Think about all the Intercontinental Champions that came back and what they did to make it relevant. And even so, if you think about it, Christian has that star power that you can put Christian and Hornswoggle in a match, and the match will be over because Christian's in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even deny it. Somebody with that in-ring capability that is just as good as Edge without all the world titles and WWE Championship, but he never got that push that Edge got because Christian decided, I want to go to another company. I'm going to show y'all I can do this as Christian Cage. And then guess what? I came back ECW champion. I came back world champion. Yeah. And now I'm going to be humble still and have this Intercontinental belt and watch what I do with it.
Yeah. So the same thing the real Dwayne Allen said. Going to TNA was probably the best thing for him, you know, because he turned down the WWE contract to go over there.
He left on good terms, and the thing is, I think it was JR actually said we welcome Christian back with open arms because he left on good terms. It was just like, hey, no hard feelings. I just want to go do something else. And if you think about it, the WWE does have that lucrative contract where you're sitting there and you're probably on the road 360 days of the year. Yeah. Whether it's you're performing only 200 of those, but 360 you got to be traveling. That's a lot on somebody versus TNA. I can do 4 shows in 2 days and had the rest of the week off and go back home.
Them going live, Brian Hebner said on Firm Wrestling Marks of Excellence the other day, last week, he said with them going live, it's going to help them. It's going to be a lot easier on their schedule because their weeks will begin on Thursday, as opposed to, you know, I guess coming right on Sunday, trying to do things on Monday and Tuesday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following presentation is brought to you by Mr. Main Event Brian Waters and the real Dwayne Alley. The Wrestling Realm, the show for the intelligent wrestling fan.